This time it is I who shall stand victorious on this day, not you! This time it is I who shall stand victorious on this day, not you!
What's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty. It's a new year, which means new cartoons and new stuff in general for the channel and the brand at large. Today's speed animation, which is not just a speed paint, but a speed animation, as you can see, is a redo of a scene of my animatic cartoon SCHNEEEVIL I made back in November of 2020. I decided to fully animate this particular scene first off because I wanted to see what it would look like if it were fully animated. Now, I did the animation all by my lonesome, and I am not a top-tier animator by any means, so it doesn't look super shiny and smooth, but it would give you somewhat of an idea of what it would look like if it were a full production. The second reason why I decided to fully animate this little bit is because I am putting forward a new type of content on this channel, and I want to kind of go into that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and buckle up into our favorite evil layer, or if you don't have an evil layer, you can just sit where you're at right now. Go ahead and grab your favorite relevant apparatus that you can use to tickle the sacred buttons, as we always must do, and let's go ahead and dive into this new content. I'm gonna be real with you people. The main content I want to start making this coming year is more animations. Now, the original idea was to create my own cartoon SCHNEEEVIL and make that into a full production, the same way that like Velicia and Meat Canyon made their cartoons Hell of a Boss and Monster Lab. However, I do not have the sheer audience size and the resources that they do, so I need to take a different approach. I still want to make animated content, but I want to do it in a way that I can handle. That being said, I do want to work up to the point where I can make SCHNEEEVIL, or possibly even another idea, into a cartoon, but before I can do that, I need to establish myself more solidly, which means I want to start making different kinds of content, and like I said, it's going to be animation. What is it going to look like? Well, first off, I can do little pieces like I'm doing right now. What you're watching me do is speed animate Velicia doing a single line. I must admit, doing those is incredibly time consuming because it's all by my lonesome, and I'm not an animator, right? I am not a skilled animator. That's just not where my skill set lies. I love creating the characters. I love writing the stories, I love doing the storyboard even, but as soon as it starts getting into the nitty-gritty of the tweening and whatnot, it falls out of my purview, and honestly it kind of falls out of my interest. I know, it's greatly ironic that me, a cartoon guy, actually does not like the actual specific art of making the cartoons move, which is the whole point of animation. Right? It is animating, it is bringing to life, it is putting motion into the picture, and I don't really like doing that specific part. But I want to see what I can handle. One of the things I was actually toying with is the concept of the story time animation, right? You got these big story timers, or the big ones I can think of as like Jaded Animation and Odd Ones Out, where they'll tell like a story about something, and like you do a cute little animation. I kind of like that because it sticks to the brand of animation, and it shows, because those two names I mentioned are not the only story timers. There's a lot of them, and they garner a really great audience, so it's viable within the YouTube algorithm. So it's like, okay, well, I obviously want to succeed within the algorithm because that would mean success for my business, which would mean more audience and resource to actually build a real cartoon like SCHNEEEVIL. So I want to, do what works, but I also understand that I want to do something that stays within the purview of cartoons, because this channel is literally called Agent Juice Cartoons. So I can toy around with doing little snippets. I can toy around with doing probably a story time. Point is that I'm going to start kind of experimenting with this channel a little bit. What this also means is that I may have to, for the first time since this channel's inception back in September of 2018, break my weekly upload schedule. Because if there's one thing I'm rather proud of, is that ever since making the first video way back when, I made sure to keep a strict schedule of posting a video once a week. And I do believe that ever since I have never missed an update. I know I have changed the days in which I used to update on Mondays, but then I switched to Wednesdays at one point because it just worked out better. But the point is that every week I was diligent, right? And a big thing specifically about YouTube's algorithm is that you need to constantly post. You need to be consistent. Otherwise, the algorithm kind of gives you a kick in the tenders. That being said, if I want to do animation, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it once a week. That is just way too much. The speed paints that I already do are incredibly time consuming. So, and that's just one picture. Animation is several pictures. If I want to do this, I might have to slow down my upload schedule. I don't know what that's going to do. It could hurt me in the short term, but you know, in the long term, it could help. Again, looking at the story timers, they average about once a month. The super successful ones, but when they were starting out, it was like once every other month. So it seems like the bottom line here that I'm trying to get to is I'm going to experiment making animation style videos with high quality, so they are really fun to watch and have you people stick around and watch through them and probably even watch them multiple times. Basically make shinier quality content, but more rarely. I might, in order just to keep the weekly schedule, do the speed paints in between, which means that the speed paints themselves might lower in quality. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm not going to start making worse pictures. It's just I might just do less editing. It might just be a nice long little chill, me talking about the cartoon, and you just see the whole thing, because sometimes I'll like jump to edits and do little funny diddly bops here and there. It kind of depends, because it's like, okay, if I do that, then is it even worth posting those speed paints to begin with? And the thing is, I don't know, because some people don't even mind. I have had some viewers tell me they don't even watch the actual physical video, they just listen to me talk. So all those edits and goofy things I do on screen kind of don't matter. So it's like, all right, well, if they're just there to hear me talk, then that kind of makes it easier on me, because I can just continue to, you know, serenade you with my voice as you do another task. So there is that to keep in mind. I want to do big things this year. That's kind of the thesis of this particular video. As you can see, I'm already tackling quite a big thing right now by animating Velicia. I want to do a little more of that kind of stuff. This will involve me having to change schedules, change how I approach things, possibly even get to the point where I need to start hiring people, which means I'm going to have to spend a lot of my own pocket money until hopefully this new formula becomes more viable and it draws in more audience and audiences who are willing to expend resources and of course ad revenue and blah, 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 like the usual influencer content creator nonsense, in which then I can use that money to start growing the business even further. And then I can start outsourcing a lot of this hard work, and thus I can make more higher quality stuff, possibly even more often. That's the goal, right? I want to get to the point where I have the resources in the audience that it takes to eventually pull a Vivzy Pop, to eventually pull a Meat Canyon and go, all right, people, now that I have your attention, I would like to invite you to help me crowdfund a real cartoon, which of course I've been banging on about for almost 2 years, a little over a year, is SCHNEEEVIL. Right? It would be great to make SCHNEEEVIL into something. But first, I need to make sure I have an audience that actually likes watching my content. So in order to do that, I need to up the ante on my content. And so in order to do that and stay on brand with cartoons, I need to start cranking out animations, which means I'm going to need to change my schedule to kind of accommodate for that. And so that is the goal. This is what you are seeing. This little Velicia animation is but a microcosm of the things I plan on doing. And so planning is one thing, doing is another. So at the very least, I can show you people what I've already been doing, which is animating Velicia. So at the very least, I hope you enjoy watching her talk in real time and move in real time. So with all that said, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here for today. So I greatly thank you all for sticking around and supporting me all these 3-ish years now, or if you're new, I'm glad you're here now. I hope you join me on this wonderful journey, and I hope you enjoy what comes out, because I'm going to have to do a lot of experimenting. And until next time, people, make sure that you stand victorious on this day, and deuces.